Welcome to Tanked Up, a podcast about drinking beer and playing video games, discussing video game topics and related
destroying
things,
laptops with beer,
chucking beer on stuff.
Although the laptop's fine, so
it is. We're using it today.
Yeah,
it's good. I'm Ben. I'm joined by Alex.
Yeah,
I'm joined by Aadil.
Hello.
So we've got beers. Have you got beers, Aadil?
I don't. It's I'm currently in Saskatoon. It's 2:24. I have a doctor's appointment at 4.
Okay.
And one of the things that has happened between episodes is I've broken my toe.
Oh man!
In a very manly manner, which is of course in the dark, navigating my parents' house, walking full force into a couch.
Nice.
That I thought wasn't there. If any injury screams video game and beer podcast host, it's that. But because of that, I couldn't actually walk to the beer store as well.
Yeah.
So, but I do have a coffee.
Nice.
And I saved this moment. I have a piece of apple pie.
Ooh.
And
hey.
Whipped cream.
Quality.
Nice.
That makes up for it slightly.
Yeah, I figured at least I could provide a sound effect in the background that's kind of awkward.
Yeah, and you brewed the coffee?
I did.
So, here we go.
Okay.
I didn't roast the beans.
No, fair enough.
Right, what beers are we drinking? What do you think we should crack into first?
Well, it looks like we've got a boar moppiness, or a more hoppiness, don't know where the B came from, which is an IPA.
Yeah.
It's nice. And a left-handed giant Duet, which is
which I think is an IPA. Southern Cross and Mosaic hops within. No, it doesn't say what it actually is.
Category. Okay, so I don't know then. And Viper and True Australia Pale Ale. Well, I guess we know that the Viper and True is a Pale Ale.
Yeah.
So we should start with the one that we know isn't an IPA.
Excellent.
Good
choice.
Are you familiar with APAs?
APAs, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What before you start, I'm gonna tax your brain and ask how would it compare to like your standard IPA? What are the category differences?
Well, so it's basically an American Pale Ale versus an English Pale Ale, and the difference is that an English Pale Ale will be mildly hoppy, not very hoppy, really. Maybe quite sweet, flat, to be served at more or less room temperature. Whereas an American Pale Ale would be probably served in a keg rather than a cask. So it's going to be pressurized and artificially carbonated, so it'll always be fizzy, really quite fizzy. And it should have late hop additions and dry hopping so that it smells hoppy. It's also going to be quite sweet, tiny bit of bitterness really, but it's all about the aroma hops.
Right.
So the difference is, American hops used in an American Pale Ale traditionally as well, whereas English hops used in an English Pale Ale.
But what's an Australian Pale Ale?
That would just be Australian hops, American style, but with Australian hops instead.
I was trying to figure out which of the two categories it was closer to. So it's definitely more the keg American style.
Definitely, yeah. And that keg American style is what all of the craft beer places everywhere are doing that at the moment. Even German beers, rumour has it, are getting hoppy these days.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Even the German with their sort of old, they've got the authority of having really old beer traditions and stuff. Is there a beer law passed in somewhere? God damn, I should know this, but there's the name of this famous law. The the Munich law or something. It's not actually Munich law, but it specifies it's illegal to put any other ingredients in beer apart from hops, water, yeast, and
Malt?
maybe wheat and barley or something like that. Yeah, there's
Never mixed malt.
yeah.
Quality.
Anyway,
Yeah. Well, this is nice.
yeah,
Smells
let's have a
good.
go on it. So it looks like
It's very pale.
very cloudy as
Yeah,
well, very
yeah.
cloudy, like a homebrew, completely unfiltered.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't have any bits.
No
It's very-
floaters.
No.
It's very fruity. That's like a pineapple
Possibly.
and
It's got a slight
something like
sweetness to it.
citrusy, like peaches or something. I always think certain stuff tastes. I always say peaches, don't I? It's like standard go-to citrus thing, but yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Doesn't hit you hugely, but then there's a slight aftertaste which sort of lingers a little bit in it. Not a huge amount, but the flavour sticks around quite a lot.
Characteristic Wiper and True. Really, really balanced.
And it's as you're saying, peachy. That on the aftertaste, that is definitely sort of instantly in my mind. I've been swayed by what you say.
It's a very nice beer. Very fruity.
Excellent. Right, so normally on the podcast we chat about games we've been playing, but we're going to start mixing it up a little bit.
Not very much.
Not a huge amount. No, we're still going to talk about games. And rather than just try and shout games at you, we're still going to talk about games, but we might start talking about some of the news that's been happening and have a little chat about that. We're going to chat about some beers a little bit more, maybe some news that's been going on with some beers, and then we're still going to have a topic at the end of every podcast. It's a new podcast, 2016, except almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
And
rebranding.
What is our topic of the day today?
So the topic does revolve around some news that happened a couple of weeks ago, which was the network outages of PlayStation and Xbox, and Steam not being very clever and trying to fix things, but making things a little bit worse. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But I'm going to start with you, Aadil, as we chat about beers, and we're sat here enjoying our beers.
All right.
What would you like to discuss?
I was in Calgary over the holidays. I went to a fancy craft beer place. I also had one of the local cherry porters. So I'd like to talk about those, and I played a game or something. So one at the Wild Rose Brewery. I think I've brought them up before. I can't remember if they were one of the ones we sampled from Canada.
Can't remember. Wild Rose, did you say?
Yeah, they're based in Calgary, by the old barracks.
Maybe
yes, I think
Black
that's right.
IPA of theirs or something.
No, it would have probably been the unfiltered wheat ale.
Maybe.
I think the Canadian
or the IPA.
One that was brewed in a fortress. Steam Whistle.
No, it's Steam Whistle.
And then a third that I don't remember the name of.
Steam Whistle was brewed in an old rail house, but Fortress works. Anyway, the Wild Rose...
Rain Fortress.
Yeah, the Wild Rose Cherry Porter is something they come out with every year. I haven't had it in years and years, just because I've not been in the right city. And it was really good. It's a solid cherry porter. For those of you in Calgary, you can still get them, I'm sure, on the shelves. It was a little more malty than sweet, from what I recall from years past, but just a solid, very strong as well, porter, which is actually quite hard to get in Canada. So
sounds nice.
Yeah,
cherry porter. Yeah,
it's perfect for minus 20-degree weather.
Do they not brew many over there then?
Oh no, yeah, Canada doesn't have a lot of stouts and porters. Like some of the microbrews / craft brewers, whatever you want to call them, might do a stout.
Yeah.
And usually porters are only a seasonal thing, like a cherry porter at Christmas or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's slowly getting better as craft beer places pop up more and more. They can sustain more varieties, like Big Rock, which is another Calgary-based one, probably the biggest Calgary-based brewer. You can get them all across the country. They now have. They used to have maybe 8 different types, and I saw a special 4-pack of all kinds of fun stuff in the liquor store, and none of which was any of the 8 that they normally make. So
cool.
Yeah. Speaking of craft brew places, I went to the National in Calgary, which is a place that has 74 beers on tap.
Shit, nice.
Nice.
It has 3 locations in Calgary. I didn't realize this and trusted the Google, so I went to the wrong location, had a beer and a salad, and then had to drive to the right location to have another beer with my friends. And the 10th Avenue location has a bowling alley underneath.
Okay.
So wait, it's a brewery above a bowling alley?
It's not a brewery, it just has 74...
Oh, right, I see. Like a beer emporium kind of place.
Yeah.
Right.
Except the basement bowling alley area has 14 beers on tap.
Yeah.
So I went to the 17th Ave location and was like, oh, these are all the beers I want to try. Maybe I'll get a flight so I can try like 4 or 5 ounces or whatever. 4 ounces, I don't remember. And then I go to meet my friends and they're in the basement, and absolutely none of the beers that piqued my interest were available.
Lame.
And then I was like, can I go upstairs and buy a beer? They're like, yeah, no. I'm like,
No,
probably could, but...
Are they separate places?
They have separate cash registers, but they're the same place. Same place of business as far as I know. So that was kind of disappointing. But also disappointing is I can't remember anything significant of the beers there.
That's a shame.
So I can tell you about a place with a bowling alley, and I can't remember the beer.
So were they all Canadian beers?
No, there was quite a few of them were Canadian, but there was also American ones. The odd European one. I don't think I saw anything from the UK. Now that I think about it, but it's definitely a North American craft brew establishment.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Oh, I had a vanilla stout actually,
Nice.
which is the only vanilla stout they have. And if I'd done my research, I could have probably figured out what that was. And it was a reasonable stout.
Cool.
Good. Nice.
Yeah, I'm really exciting here. I also broke my toe.
A reasonable stout.
A reasonable stout.
Could
It
be
was.
reasonable.
It was okay.
Yeah. And then I played some games, but I can't remember which.
So you're looking quite blank there on trying to recall which games you played.
Yeah, I started Final Fantasy 1 on the Vita.
Shit.
And then I started Final Fantasy 2 on the Vita. And then I started Final Fantasy 3 on the computer.
I think I know where this anecdote's going.
Mostly because I started Final Fantasy 3 on the computer because I was near the computer. Final Fantasy 1, I forgot how annoying the beginning is and how grindy it is. And Final Fantasy 2 is actually a game I've never finished. So I've never finished. Yes. So when I was like, this is too grindy, I just want to throw back JRPG fun. I just switched to Final Fantasy 2, and then I didn't know where the Vita was, so I started Final Fantasy 3. Although FF3 on the PC is based on the DS remake, so everything's all polygon, upgraded, fancy. The odd cutscene, and you're like, this is weird.
This isn't what I remember.
But yeah, they still hold up. Plot-wise, 2 and 3. 1 definitely isn't my favorite game. I mean, it's such a stereotypical start with the princess has been kidnapped by the bad guy, and then if you go and try and kill the bad guy, you'll just die, and you have to you can get there easily just before level 2. You can reach the experience-wise and random encounters, reach the castle, and you'll just get trounced. You pretty much have to grind to level 4. Right. If anyone dies, you can only resurrect them at the sanctuaries, which are in the town, so you'd have to walk all the way back. Which is good when you're grinding, but less good when you just wanted to fight the bad guy, but you need all 4 people. Life is a spell in the game that you don't get right off the top, so I know it cuts easier. But apparently in the remakes, they added Phoenix Downs, but that's the standard Final Fantasy item to bring someone back to life mid-battle or out of battle. But that's not a standard thing in the original Final Fantasy. Dying was just really shitty. Although I didn't remember, because I was playing for nostalgia purposes, I just made like your standard party, fighter, thief, black mage, white mage. But I forgot how the game is so wonderfully broken if you go fighter, 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 fighter. Because the damage output is just so obscene. And you can wear chainmail, and you will make enough money killing things quickly to buy enough potions that you don't really miss anything. So I'm tempted to reroll that just so that I can play the plot, because that's sort of why I was doing it, not for much the challenge. It just seems really weird to make like Final Fantasy the RPG franchise based on jobs and different jobs to take through generic warrior character for your whole party seems like the antithesis, and I'm not sure I can make myself do that.
Yeah, I suppose that's, well, not just with Final Fantasy, but like my massive gripe with JRPGs is just that grinding element. And so many of them just don't seem to get pacing quite right, and it sort of makes you... I seem to remember, I think it was Dragon Quest 9, which came out over here a couple of years after it had been released, I think in Japan. I played maybe a couple of days of that game and just hit this point where you had to be a certain level to sort of progress or be able to get through this battle, and you think, oh, now I've just got to go out and fight constantly until I'm able to get up to this level, be good enough to do it. Had I had a bit more skill, I may have been able to do it at a slightly lower level and work the battle a little bit better and use sort of the right combinations of tactics to be able to do it at a slightly earlier level. But you sort of even like Final Fantasy 7, 8 and 9, all of those ones that you start to think, well, maybe we're getting into a newer generation of JRPGs that's being refined a little bit more. Really, all they were upgrades in graphics onto a new system. You sort of still had that element of grinding with those games as well.
I didn't find FF7 and 8 nearly as... And actually, I don't remember if I found 9, but 7 and 10 definitely. I found...
10, yeah.
Maybe it's just because the world was... more interesting, that through just exploring and looking for things, I ended up being the appropriate level almost all the time. I didn't really feel like I had to grind at all. But again, that might just be me sort of
taking your time.
My meandering was the grinding, and I just happened to enjoy the grind versus other games. My Final Fantasy, my first experience with Final Fantasy... There's an RPG joke for you. I was probably 7, making my sisters 9 and 11, and we were given FF1 on the NES. And we kept trying to play it, but we kept doing that thing you do in video games where they say, go kill this guy, and then we tried to kill this guy. And the entire time I had that cartridge in my possession, I never got past Garland, the first boss, because we just didn't think about, well, why wouldn't you just... Like, we never played RPGs, so we didn't really understand what the experience was doing and how that actually made things easier. So we're just like, well, this is impossible. This game's stupid. So it wasn't until I played it on an emulator years later that I was like, oh, yeah, this is totally doable. It's just a bit of a grind.
Yeah. I suppose it's something that maybe I've grown up with more Western released games, and they're signposted a little bit more of where you should be going and what you should be doing sort of as you progress through the story a little bit more, which when you get sort of some of the games that are coming out now, like the Dark Souls series and Bloodborne and things like that, which don't give you anything at all yet, are fantastic games to just explore, and you get that grind through the exploration, and you're not signposted in those games whatsoever. You can do bosses in whichever order you sort of encounter them. You may end up in an area and you didn't even know that there was going to be a boss there, and suddenly you're in this giant battle, and yes, you die, but you know not to go back in there for a little while because maybe it's too difficult, and you sort of sidetrack it and go somewhere else, and it's so open for you to be able to do those sorts of things. I think games are starting to get it right, that you don't have to have that grind. At least it doesn't feel like you have to have that grind. There's other ways of, putting a coat on it, sort of thing, and showing it off as something else, I suppose.
Nice.
Also, games take their time introducing you to mechanics now by almost definition. So, like, even if it was a grindy game, it wouldn't be grindy right off the top. Like, as you were walking through the beginning levels, modern games just hold your hand the entire time till the first boss, because the first boss is really just, do you know what the buttons do? And then it might get more difficult.
Yeah.
So the idea of, like, getting the initial quest after 0 battles, and then going out in the world and being told, go to this place and do this thing, and then just getting trounced is so foreign that I think, especially given that we were like playing Mario 1 and 2 at the time, like, and maybe the Ninja Turtles game, which was also horribly difficult on the NES.
That was very difficult.
It just
pretty linear though, isn't it?
Hmm?
Pretty linear, those Turtles and Mario. There's not really any, like, you have to go forwards. I seem to remember Turtles as being
the original Ninja Turtles game. You were like side-scroller 2D mode, but then you could go up the ladder, and then you're in a top-down world where you could pick where you were going. So it was a little less linear, but it was also extremely difficult for a licensed children's game.
I think maybe I'm thinking of the Turtles arcade game. Which
probably.
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
which was fantastic, and was the Genesis version arcade game was Hyperstone Heist.
Yes,
and the SNES one was Turtles in Time. Both fantastic games.
Nice, good memory on those.
I liked the Ninja Turtles a lot, and Hyperstone Heist was constantly played.
Good.
I remember having to watch the Turtles movie in your flat a few years ago.
You mean you got the privilege to?
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah, the original live action one.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the remade one that came out several years ago.
No, the dark one.
The good one.
Yeah,
the poorly acted but good one.
The shit but good one.
Right, let's crack into another beer.
Go on then. Left-handed giant.
Yeah, Duet.
It's two of us drinking it, so, and I'm drinking out of the this nice Chimay glass that I stole from the beer emporium one day, when on my last day at OVO, and we went out. I ended up with it in my bag, and I found it the next day without realizing. So that was nice.
How did I won't ask?
Well, I was just outside drinking it, and I must have gone, oh, fuck that, I'm just going to keep it.
Right.
What nice glass this is.
Yeah. Obviously, Beer Emporium in the past have let us come to their premises and record shows there, so hopefully none of them, and they won't listen, will they?
Hopefully they
It's
don't.
fine. They must get that all the time.
They'll email and say, can we have our glass back, please?
Yeah.
We've run out because so many people have been stealing them.
For legal purposes.
Ever since that episode, people are just stealing.
Yes, of course. Ooh.
Well, that's quite. That's like an inch. Those are totally different pours.
Yes.
So
different
Alex has about
glass.
a half, maybe 3/4 centimeter of head, and Ben's gone for the full 1.5 inches.
Yep. A taller glass, so it was longer to drop. I did tilt, but you know.
I'm shaking my head at you.
Not a lot going on in that nose, really. Nothing. I want to say a tiny little bit lemony, but there's not really much in it.
No, not hugely. Mm.
Quite dry.
Very dry. Mm.
Not really much flavour in that.
Yeah, I'm detecting facial expressions of profound meh.
Yeah, it's pretty meh. It may just be meh in proportion or in juxtaposition to the Wiper and True.
Yes.
Is it a stronger beer?
Alcohol percentage, you mean?
Well,
No, it's not. No. The Wiper and True was a 5.7%, and this is a 5.2.
Ah.
But it's
Well, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't seem to have a huge amount to it, does it?
It's kind of. I suppose it's refreshing. It might be nice on a hot day to have this as a nice, really cold, fresh out of the fridge. Kind of.
It's got sort of a carbonated quite sort of fizzy hit to it as soon as you have it, which I think sort of leaves a little bit of sourness, but not
that's
much.
true. Not a huge amount, but there is a little bit of sourness in there. Actually. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned citrus on the nose. Does any of that reflected on the actual taste?
No, I don't think it is. I'm not really getting any. Good radio, drinking beers.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm sure in the middle of all that, people heard me eating the pie, which most people find revolting. The number of podcasts I've listened to where people talk about listeners complaining about them eating on air.
So you can leave us an iTunes review if you want to say there's
too much eating.
Yeah, disgusting eating noises permeate throughout this podcast.
Too much drinking. I can hear them smelling it.
Failing to find words to describe.
Oh, so Facebook yelled at me because it's been over a week since we posted something on the Tanked Up page. I didn't know that would happen.
Yeah, it did that to me as well. Yeah, fuck Facebook. You can do one.
Yeah.
Unless you'd like to go to our Facebook page, of course, and look at the things we haven't posted for a week or so.
Post some stuff.
I'll do that later, maybe, while I'm sat on the toilet. Just post something. Probably about David Bowie.
No, let's not mention David Bowie. Let's try and go for a whole podcast without mentioning him today, even though he died today. Let's just not say that.
No
I think we've already failed that.
Possibly.
Right.
I just don't rate David Bowie. Dying doesn't mean that I'm going to rate him more. I'm sorry.
No, of course it wouldn't. If you didn't rate him before, it wouldn't mean you'd rate him anymore.
But all it means is I have to see other people saying how good he was.
Yeah.
And I think, well, why? Just if you felt he was so good, just say that. Don't just say it because he's dead.
I tell you all the time.
Well,
just whisper in your ear.
At least if you do, then at least you're consistent. You're just jumping on the bandwagon.
That's true.
Facebook is just you may as well call it bandwagon book because it's all just like bloody. Oh, there's been a terrorist attack. I'll change the colour of my picture. Oh, somebody's died. I'm going to suddenly say that he's my favourite artist of all time, even though I never listened to him. Annoys me. Shut up. Anyway, sorry, you were going to say something.
I put a quote from Labyrinth on Facebook.
An excellent film.
Mm-hmm. Although not a film that has a licensed game tie-in at all. I don't think there is a Labyrinth game.
No, not that I know of.
It would be a kind of maze-based game, I'm thinking.
Would it?
Well, some of the in the film there was a maze.
Oh yeah, it was a labyrinth, sir.
So yes, of course, but in a more traditional sense, part of it was. Right, I am going to talk about games. I don't know why I did that. And
you did that so that we can edit that to make that a nice little sound file in case anyone wants a new incoming text message noise.
Yeah, we'll just take the m's off the end, so it's just Ben going gay.
Nah. I was gonna say I would just make that except we don't text. When Ben texts me.
Yeah. You could do, but then I'll have to text you, which would be very expensive. Anyway, I played a game on Steam. It came out last year. I've only recently picked it up. So I picked it up, I think, in the autumn Steam sale several months ago, which I don't believe I've spoken about, or although I may have mentioned it, but it was Titan Souls.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a pixelated boss battle game. So it's a similar sort of style to I can never remember the full name of the game that you played, like Song of Mern, something like that.
What lies beneath was the subtitle. Yeah, Song of the Man or something.
And it's a similar sort of
I know
pixelated style to that. So you have it's almost a third person camera. Your sort of 6 pixel sized character sits within the middle of the screen. You can move around the world in 4 directions, and basically you're moving around looking for battles. And each battle, it's sort of meant to be quite a large, epic battle that you're having, because you're quite a small character and you're fighting things that are 10 times, 20 times the size of you. Each of these bosses have completely different mechanics of how they move, work, how they attack you. So you've got to try and figure out how to be able to defeat each of these bosses as you're going around. And the only sort of mechanic that you have is a dodge roll, which then can allow you to run slightly faster. And the weapon is a bow and arrow, but you only have one arrow. So once you've shot it, you then have to go and pick it up to be able to shoot it again. And you need to try and figure out where to shoot the boss, whether they, a portion of them opens up for you to hit a little special bit that is the only bit that can be hit, or it's got an eye that opens or something that you've got to try and figure out. And
this is sounding very familiar somehow.
It sounds like Shadow of the Colossus, but where you're not on the Colossus.
Yes, yeah, very much. And I played it through Steam using mouse and keyboard, and I found it really fucking difficult. I'm not sure what it was about that control scheme that just wasn't clicking with me for that game.
Now, did you try remapping the controls?
I didn't. What I did...
Okay, go on.
No, go on.
Oh, because I found with a lot of games that are oddly ported control-wise, that if I just remap to... Like, I have the standard way I play certain games, like FPSs, and I tend to use... If I remap even platformers and stuff to my FPS controls, my hands are used to touching those, even if it's for completely different reasons. But a lot of the time, the controls are less than stellar out of the box. So I would recommend trying that if you don't have a controller around, because obviously a controller for a controller-based game makes the most sense.
Yeah, so what I did was got my PlayStation 4 control pad, downloaded a piece of software which made my computer believe it was a 360 pad.
Nice. Oh, it wasn't Motion Enjoy, was it?
No, I think it was called Input Mapper.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's specifically made for a PlayStation, for a DualShock 4, to then be used as to be basically read better by Microsoft, so by Windows. And as soon as I plugged that in and set all of this up, it only took maybe 5 minutes to download everything and get it all set up. Titan Souls became infinitely easier. And when you start the game, you've got the option of fighting 4 bosses in the first area. And with mouse and keyboard, I'd beaten one of them and then just repeatedly died on the rest of them. And you think, well, I'm not quite getting... I get how this boss moves and I get what I'm meant to do, but I'm not quite responsive enough on these controls to be able to get into a position to be able to do that. I'll try another one. Okay, now I've picked up how they work, but there's something that I'm not quite picking up. And as soon as I put the control pad in, it was like, right, I know what to do, and went and instantly was able to do it because I was so much more familiar with the control pad than I was with mouse and keyboard for a game of that type, really. And once you get past those 4 bosses, you then go into a much larger open world where I think you've got maybe another 12, 15-ish bosses to go and fight. And it's really good because suddenly they get infinitely harder and you maybe have to do 2 or 3 different things per battle to be able to defeat them. You get a plant with some wavy arms. You have to try and take their arms off before you then are able to sort of shoot them for the final.
So you know those things that are at used car lots?
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing movements.
Nice. When you said a boss with wavy arms, I just pictured that. And I was like, this sounds like the
you. That would be a good boss. I haven't encountered that one yet. But,
so it's really just a 3D platforming puzzler.
There's no real platforming to it.
Is it top down, like Song of the Man?
Yeah, sort of. It's almost like a third person, and you see sort of the back of the
like Assassin's Creed style.
Sort of, but the character's so zoomed in that you're maybe only 6 pixels on the screen, and you've got quite a large area around your character.
It's kind of like an early Zelda.
Yeah. I suppose that would have been a better analogy to put against it. Yeah. But yeah, it's a very enjoyable game. It was something like £2 on the Steam sale. I think it came out of first quarter, maybe early second quarter last year, so it's quite a new game. It was released on PS4 and Xbox One as well, I believe. So you can probably pick it up if you're on any of those. It's fun. It's good.
You should download the software that enables you to use the Guitar Hero guitar controller. I reckon your responsivity, is that a word?
Responsiveness.
Responsiveness? Whatever the word is, it would definitely go up. I'm not sure what the D-pad equivalent would be, like the whammy bar or something.
Yeah, it's clearly strum up and down, and then whammy bar for left and right.
Yeah. It's maybe a genius idea, but might not be. Might be a shit idea. Maybe.
It's one of those ideas where it sends you so far over the edge that your Guitar Hero guitar just disappears through your computer screen and out the other side.
I reckon forwards should just be tilting the neck of the guitar. When you're like doing the power.
Did we discuss this last time? And I can't remember what we were talking about. You just imagine yourself just sat there like, yeah,
that'd be great. Yeah, nice. For those of you who are not on the live stream, Ben was tilting the guitar neck up and down. When he was saying, yeah. That was what he was doing.
For a visual commentary.
Yeah. Well, for the visually impaired podcast listener, you can reach all of them.
So, after I'd set this up, and I'd had my fill of Titan Souls for a little while, I then played Super Hexagon.
Nice.
On a control pad.
Yay, Super Hexagon.
Oh, you did
Still
the control pad.
Yeah.
So I've not tried it on the
way to get used to it.
I've not tried it on the controller, but I do find the mouse is easier than the keyboard.
Have you tried Super Hexagon on the
Guitar Hero?
With the Guitar Hero?
No, I don't think I can. I think it's GL based. I don't think it's Direct 3D based.
Oh, lame.
Also, the face tracking wouldn't do anything, and the 3D wouldn't. Might do something.
It would just be immersive.
It would just be like going up to the television with a blanket.
Yeah, that would be great. And have like headphones that blast the music really, really fucking loud.
I will. My plan is to try and get the Oculus working while I'm here in Saskatoon, so that I can do silly things like that.
Yeah, I think we should have like a special video where you like just put the laptop over in the corner of the room, just filming yourself as you play Super Hexagon with the music on really loud on the Oculus for like 5 minutes, and then we can just watch you doing it. It'd be funny.
And then suddenly
but not have
goes into an epileptic fit where it's all just been far too much.
But not show the viewers at all what's happening on my screen. Just
no,
me.
I don't know, maybe
presumably holding a controller.
Yeah.
And because the tracking doesn't work, I wouldn't have to move my head at all. In fact, that would probably make me nauseous.
Right, those Let's Play videos where you've got the whole screen, which is the game, and then you've maybe got the guy's face down in the corner. We'll do it the opposite way. So you've got this very tiny screen showing you what's happening on the game, and just a man flailing about in a room. Ridiculous.
It's a really good idea.
One of your best.
We said the opposite thing to each other then.
Ridiculously good idea.
So put those two together, what have you got? A ridiculously good idea. Redunculous. People don't say redunculous enough anymore.
They say redonkulous.
Oh, redunculous.
I don't think people ever really said it.
Is redunculous?
I've never heard redunculous. Yeah, it's redunculous.
I used to say redunculous. Like redundant and ridiculous. No,
that's an even different. That's a different.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculously redundant. Anyway, no, that's just me.
Is there anything you'd like to discuss this week, Alex?
I saw Star Wars the other day.
Oh, I've seen it 3 times in the theaters.
Really?
I've seen it twice.
All right. I've seen it.
Good.
What did you think?
I thought it was better than I suppose. Yeah, I agreed with Ben's idea that it was probably the best Star Wars film. I think. Whereas my previous best Star Wars film is obviously Empire Strikes Back. So I think it tipped Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I haven't been back and watched Empire since seeing the new one.
It has made me want to watch.
Digitally remastered Empire, that is, I suppose.
No, I have the original copy, so it doesn't have any of the CGI extra bits.
The digitally remastered. Sorry, I just put my Star Wars nerd hat on. The digitally remastered versions were just the ones that cleaned up the video and remastered the audio into THX.
Ooh.
The special editions were the ones that were CGI'd and re-released in the theaters.
Yeah, okay, and some of the special edition
Mumbo Jumbo
stuff was not better, like the Jabba's palace. I want to say palace.
For him, yeah.
And then Jabba himself is all remastered and like moving around and shit.
Yeah.
No.
Only on a couple scenes they kept animatronic Jabba for his actual scenes, but in A New Hope they added a scene where Han is talking to Jabba and he's a really terribly CGI'd version of Jabba.
Yeah. That's terrible. But the
also, go on.
Yeah. No. I started, so you can finish.
Oh dear, there's a dirty joke there. So it turns out on the internet there is people have cobbled together from all sources, including 35 millimeter, the definitive cuts, like the original cuts, using the most highest quality sources they can find. But there's actually two versions of it, because one of the big changes was, for no discernible reason, George Lucas changed the song playing in Jabba's palace in the special editions.
Yeah, right.
So the definitive version has the old song, but a lot of people like the new song better, and it's so not impactful on canon that the people who did the definitive cut may recut it with that new song. And I was like, really, you're giving up on the last one?
Max Rebo's original works much better than his new
songs. Yeah, I can't think of, like, the original songs are do-do-do-do-do.
No, that's Mos Eisley.
That's the Cantina Band in Mos Eisley, and
there's no way they could get away with changing that fucking song. That song's genius.
What's the song in Jabba's Palace?
I don't know, I've just got the Cantina Band music in my head now.
I don't think it's anything worthwhile, is the thing. It's not memorable.
Okay.
There was a large, sort of round, bulbous female alien with large puckered lips that was singing whilst Max
the elephant
Rebo
thing.
His Max Rebo is the blue elephant keyboard player.
Oh right, yeah,
poser character.
Isn't there like a woman that's like also in the Fifth Element? That's in
Lilu,
the band. Is that right?
I don't know.
Pass.
It's like blue or whatever.
Oh no, she's not actually in it, but yeah, the opera singer from Fifth Element does look like a Twi'lek.
Okay,
that's true. Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes. But yeah, I suppose we won't try and spoil the new film for anyone that may not have seen it.
Why?
But you've probably seen it by now because it's made a fucking shitload of money.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, then stop listening now for approximately about.
Is there something specific we want to spoil, or do we just want to make people have to skip 40 seconds ahead if they haven't seen it as some sort of punishment?
Yes.
Okay. Spoil away.
Just the uncertainty of not knowing when to click to come back into the episode.
Yeah, right. I'm going to just, at some random point, I'm just going to say Han Solo dies. Just going to chuck it out there.
Which was kind of telegraphed.
Han Solo dies.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was well telegraphed. Like, the whole scene on the bridge was well done.
It's fucking obvious that he was
but it was also obvious that he kind of knew, but he's like, you're my son. I gotta do what I gotta do. Also, I didn't want to be part of this franchise anyway, so hurry up and kill me.
Yeah, that's true. He was like, please don't make me be in another 3 films. Please take me out of this.
The only reason he did this one was so that he would die.
Yeah. He said he'd come back if they killed him off.
So things I didn't like about it. Carrie Fisher.
Really?
I don't know. She's weird.
She's not very good at acting.
Weird. Yeah. There's something weird about her.
The plastic surgery.
And the like, her voice is substantially deeper than Harrison Ford's voice. I found disturbing.
It's also a little more nasal. I think it might be connected to the plastic surgery.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't like her role.
I think that's fine. She kept leading the resistance from the rebellion for 20 years. She's been through a lot.
She's worn, mate. She's worn and haggard and tired.
She's haggard. She's definitely haggard.
She's encountered a lot of.
And her husband abandoned her.
Surgeons.
Well, yes. Her husband did abandon her, yes.
I liked the fact that it was a film that scored... there's this rating thing for how well a film is like equal representation between men and women. Or something.
Remember the Bechdel test?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. And it scored really highly on that. And I kind of like that. I knew that going in. before having watched it. And then when I was watching it, I was like, okay, and there's another strong female lead character.
Oh, you're talking about something different. Cool. The Bechdel test is movie passes the Bechdel test if two female characters talk on screen, not about the men.
Okay.
Oh, right.
That's like a low bar.
And it turns out almost every movie fails.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's really terrible.
Okay, well, yeah, I can't remember the name of this. It's some kind of rating system, and it scored very highly on it. It basically means that, like, it's not just male-dominated, and the only female characters are, like, to be rescued or to be had sex with or something. Like, they have actual parts that actual characters.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the pluses of the film, was the Rey character.
Yeah.
Was very believable, was very good. I enjoyed her performance.
Apparently, the only thing she'd done before this was being in an episode of Casualty.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
they had chatted before, because they changed the script about 2 years, maybe 18 months before they started filming, and they had, before they changed the script, they had put out a lot of casting calls for very unknown actors,
yeah, exactly.
And they had some stuff over here in Bristol. They had a day of
that's right.
of casting over here, which I went down to find that the queue had. I seem to remember the press release they put out said that it would be opening at 10 o'clock, and I went down. I was at uni at the time, had a day off, so I wandered down about 9:30. A very, very cold day, and it was fucking packed. And they said, well, we stopped allowing people to join the queue at about 8:30 this morning. So I just sort of walked around, just taking in the sheer size of scale of the amount of people that were there.
Like the queue in Morrison's the other day when I was going to buy a lottery ticket. Because we had this like 13-week rollover on the lottery.
That's happened here in North America as well.
Yeah, the Powerball.
They added another ball. And so it went from 15 million or 13 million to 1 to 45 million to 1 with the addition of one ball. It's crazy. But then obviously no one's won it for ages as a result. So yeah, and bloody queue in Morrison's. Scum. If you really want to see an instance of the dregs of humanity, you want to see the queue to the tobacco stroke lottery ticket.
On a 50 million day.
Yeah, on any day really, but on this day in particular. It's not a great part of town that we live in. Somehow
it's all right.
It's all right. It's not great.
No,
you'd really be deluding yourself if you said it was a great part of town. It's all right. It's
correct,
affordable.
True. It has a good independent games shop.
Yes. Second-hand game shop. Yes. Yeah, it's not first-hand.
No, that's very true.
It would be a
the one
different
off
part
just just past the Lidl on the other side of the street.
Yeah.
Right, should we crack into this third beer?
Yes.
And move on to
Hoppiness.
our topic of the evening.
Yes.
But let's drink this beer.
Go for it.
Oh, also, see Star Wars if you haven't. Oh, actually, if you do see it again, I read apparently Poe and Finn were played as if they were love interests. And
really?
if you watch it again with that in mind, you do see what could eat some definite looks up and down and flirtatiousness.
Wait. Poe and Finn?
Yeah.
I mean Ray and Finn?
No, Poe and Finn.
Which one's Poe?
The pilot.
Oscar Isaac.
The pilot.
Guy with great hair.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically when they bump into each other and they talk about his jacket.
Right.
Okay,
Okay,
that's my jacket. No, you keep it.
Yeah, except it's a look up and down while
you.
biting his lip and then saying, "It looks good on you."
So if they do get together, Finn will be the first stormtrooper to actually hit something.
Nice.
Actually, I thought that was one of the good things that they did in this, was that although someone complained on the internet, because that's what the internet's for, that the stormtroopers still can't hit anything. But that's not true. People died. I thought the stormtroopers actually felt menacing in this film.
That first scene where they wrangle them all up and put them in.
Oh well, no, that's like shooting fish in a barrel
randomly into them.
Like That's the first time you see a stormtrooper kill someone, it's because they are all corralled in front of them.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, even on the attack at whatever the planet is with female Yoda, Lady Yoda, her place, Maz Kanata,
Yeah,
that's what.
I can't remember the
yeah,
planet.
But like when they attack, people are getting knocked around.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was a bit
inconsequential, non-named characters.
Yeah, obviously. I was a little bit like, we started on a desert planet. The Death Star's an ice planet. I wonder whether she'll live on a jungle/stroke water planet. Oh, she does. That's.
Oh yeah, that's totally on purpose though. It's a redo of A New Hope where Rey is Luke, Poe is
Han.
I guess Han.
Or he's a little bit of Luke with a bit of fighter.
I think he's he's Leia. He's the one who sends off a droid with the plans,
yeah, it does. Yeah.
And Finn is just a guy who finds it and needs to deliver it for him.
So Finn is Luke.
Yeah, because
Poe is Leia.
No,
okay.
Ray finds the droid, doesn't she, in the desert?
Oh yeah, Ray is
Rey's,
Luke, obviously.
yeah.
Like she's the.
But
so who's Finn then?
So
is he
Finn's
Finn's
Han.
not quite Han because
Well, they're
even though
all
he accompanies her off the planet, he doesn't sort of provide the means of escape. As
Maybe
such.
he's Chewie.
He's
yeah,
he does.
Chewie.
I think he does. He's the one who enables Rey to leave. I mean, this is all like massaged, like non-direct correlations, but it feels that way. And also, when you have that in mind, with Rey being Luke, then the love interest couple matches A New Hope, if what Oscar Isaac said on the record was true.
Right. Is that right?
Han and Leia, yeah.
Right.
Finland,
yeah, okay, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
But I mean...
Checks out.
I thought the like cyclical and like homages to A New Hope and parts of the other movies was really well done, except for the Starkiller base. They even like pointed out, oh, so it's just a bigger Death Star. Oh,
yeah.
And then here's the place you need to blow up. I did appreciate that they couldn't just bomb the shit out of it. That something else had to happen in order for...
Well, like they had to take the shields down on the planet of Endor.
Yeah.
I mean, not Endor. Who can we send down?
Han
Solo, yeah, we'll send him down.
He's done this before, right?
The only guy in the universe who's done this before.
He's the only person with experience of bringing down shields.
Yeah.
Okay, worst bit of the film, C-3PO, when it was all like, oh look, there's Princess Leia, all old, and like General Leia, and then it was all of a sudden, oh, hello, it's C-3PO.
I honestly think it's because they didn't really want to deal with him as a character, but knew he had to be in something.
Couldn't he have just been in the background? And I hate the way he was like, oh, I've got a red arm, because last time I didn't have an arm. Even though it was 10 years ago. And then all of a sudden his arm's back.
I don't know how he gets a red arm.
To be honest, C-3PO is my least favorite character in this series, especially if you count Episode 1. Because that's where we find out that Anakin built him out of like scrap, magically. But he's a protocol droid with great programming, etc. That this slave kid builds out of scrap, and then he gets gold-plated, and then in Chewbacca, although it does explain how Chewbacca can just cling him together, because he's clearly a kit droid.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say C-3PO, worst character, built by young Anakin, second worst character. But there's the
Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, I take it back. Third worst character. That's true. Yeah, fine.
Anyway, our topic of discussion
is Jar
Star
Jar
Wars.
or C-3PO in the Star Wars. I like the fact that Jar Jar isn't in this, and it clearly has just been dust for the remainder of
his
legacy
trilogy. Continues.
He's done.
I was going to say, he wasn't in 4, 5, and 6. It'd be really weird to him to show up like...
Yeah, well,
it
wasn't.
later.
You know, it could have. Oh, I'm here again.
There was a good theory that the films are set so far in the future from the original or from the prequel trilogy that Gungans only live a certain
Right.
To a certain age, and he is dead.
He's definitely
dead. Unless he's the oldest living Gungan ever, he's dead.
Oh, can you imagine in the next one where Rey travels somewhere and finds this old decrepit alien, but it's just Jar Jar? Also, that makes Luke Yoda, obviously.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. But you know the way that you see Darth Vader's like rubbish kind of burnt out helmet or something?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just like the camera will pan over and you'll just see like a dead kind of like burnt out corpse of Jar Jar Binks at some point. Just gratuitous. You know it doesn't help the plot move forward at all.
Just as the camera pans round, he's there in the background.
Oh no, you know what it's going to be?
He's going to come back in some implausible plot twist.
Be
definitely
encased in carbonite on a wall somewhere.
So apparently the Senate planet that looked exactly like Coruscant was not Coruscant.
No.
But I'm hoping that maybe Naboo was one of the other 5 planets that got destroyed.
The even though the Senate, or the new Republic Senate, was on that planet, it's not Coruscant because they came up with the idea that to make the rest of the galaxy feel like they were part of they had their say within what happens within the galaxy, that every X number of years they move the Senate around to a different planet,
so
to a different system.
European Parliament that moves every 6 months between Brussels and
Germany.
No. Which is a complete waste of money.
I was going to say, that's terrible use of taxpayer money.
Yeah, it really is. But the French insisted that it had to at least be some of the time in Paris, apparently. Is it Paris that it's in? Somewhere in France, anyway. So they have every European MEP has 2 offices. And,
Jesus.
So everything's doubled. 2 computers, 2 assistants, everything's doubled. It is really, really stupid. So I just figured that I assumed it was an administrative kind of inefficiency that meant that there was just loads of official planets, and they just every couple of months they just everybody put everything down.
Now we've got to go
here. Yeah, go and start everything again on a different system somewhere. Anyway,
could be
not. Could be. Could be.
Right, this beer. We've not talked about this beer yet.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
Also, name of the episode is going to have to be Beer Wars. I'm just saying.
It will.
Yes.
I quite like this. It's called Hoppiness. It's hoppy.
Okay, it's Beer Wars, a new hop.
Oh, that's good.
It's an IPA. It's
who makes this one again?
Moor.
Right, not Boar.
Not Boar.
Moppiness.
All 3 of these are Bristol beers again.
Yes. It's a lovely beer. I guess it's probably my favourite so far. Even though I don't really have anything to say about it.
No, I agree. It's nice and hoppy.
Yeah,
it's got a good flavour.
Do you know what I think? Even though I'll always like this type of beer, I think maybe I kind of want to have different beers nowadays. Even ones that I like less. Yeah. I kind of want to have more.
I'm craving variety.
Yeah, variety over quality.
Perhaps we should start expanding out a little bit more. We did start in the first few episodes, didn't we? To explore a few more beer styles and things.
Yeah. And then I got really grumpy and said, "Can't we just have IPAs all the time?"
Yeah.
And now I'm getting grumpy again and saying, "Can we not always have IPAs all the time?"
Are you back on the subscription service?
No, I never updated my card details after I lost my card.
Yeah.
So it's a convenient way of not paying them any money anymore.
Fair. Because that would be a nice way to get different types of beers. Yeah. But I suppose we haven't really rated other types of beers in the local surroundings. So there's still fruitful gains.
Oh yeah, there's still a lot of beers that we haven't had from.
Oh, I looked at. There's loads of places like Honesty Brew, Honesty Box, whatever they're called.
Yeah, Honest Brew. Yeah.
There's just loads of, and I found one.
Beer Hawk. Something Eagle.
Something
Falcon
Eagle.
Beer.
I found when I went to London, whenever it was, a few months ago, and we went to a load of London breweries, and I had in 4 Pure, I had this beer called Northern Latitude, which was I think it was a rye IPA, because it was really dark and it was really thick, but it was fucking hoppy, and it was just fantastic. and I found an online delivery service that had that in stock. And I can remember just putting 24 of them in the cart and looking at the price and being like £65, whatever it was. And I was just like, do I want to? Maybe. And I got distracted, and then I closed the tab by accident or something. But I was close to just being like, just loads of them, just fucking loads of them. And then for 5-6 weeks or something, we just go, right, we're having 3 Northern Latitudes. Again. What do you think of this Northern Latitude? Yes, it's good, isn't it?
This is the beer that we have, so we will drink it.
Again, it's my favourite beer of the week.
Tanked up the Northern Latitude and Video Game Podcast.
It's a fucking good beer, though.
Nice. Good. Right, we shall talk about PlayStation and Xbox and Steam all getting hacked over the Christmas period by whatever they are, DDoS, denial of something, China. Service things, attacks by hacks.
Denial of service is the term, meaning you basically crowd something with requests so that no one else can get there. And DDoS is distributed denial of service.
Mm-hmm.
So the hackers basically take over a bunch of computers. So they have a network of compromised machines, which then all, through their various parts of the internet, attack the server. So you can't block an IP
wait,
or
how's
something.
That to the first one again?
The first one is more is a category one, but normally if you say it was a DOS attack, it's probably just one computer attacking another computer.
Oh, okay. So it's denial of service, right? A DOS. Yeah. I thought that was because the system had been overloaded.
Yeah, correct. So it's one.
They both do the same things. One is a lot of computers. One is one computer.
Oh, okay. How does one computer manage to overload the system then?
It just does a bunch of requests.
Oh, okay.
So these networks got hacked and all went offline for a period of time. PlayStation, as they have done when this has happened, didn't respond very well and haven't been able to work out how to do something about this. And I believe it was down for about 4 days. The Xbox network was down for, I think, a day, if not a little bit less, and that they managed to overcome it and resolve it very swiftly. Whereas Steam sort of didn't go down, but the fix that they implemented then fucked other things up and cached a load of data from other people's pages, which then started appearing on other people's Steam clients. So you could see people's login information, the final few digits of their card details, and the email address registered with like PayPal accounts and things like this. You could see what was in
their profile.
Yeah. So, what the fuck? Just like, it is bullshit. It's just, it seems that surely these aren't things that, not that they shouldn't. There's no way that they can stop people trying to do this to them. For a start, why the fuck are people trying to do this?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
funsies.
Well, they've got nothing else to do. They don't want to play the games that they're able to play on those systems.
So there are the zealots out there who think that private companies shouldn't have this much control. So the fact that Valve could one day just turn your computer off and you would lose all of your games, they think it is not fair. And so they try and make a point by showing people that, look, now you can't access your games / download them, because you can always play in offline mode, because the service is down. Think about what it means for the service to be down. Having said that, I don't know of any specific group making this claim, but that has been a motivation in the past.
Yeah,
and sometimes people just like being dicks.
But like, I've heard of loads of these denial of service like websites being down in the last couple of months. Like the BBC iPlayer website was hit as well. I mean, it seems to me that while you could construct you just came up with like a reason why you might take Steam out, because...
I'm saying that's a reason that has been given in the past for this type of thing.
Right, I don't think it's the reason for this, because otherwise, I mean, it seems to me it's more just like people...
being dicks.
Doing it like... almost like flexing their muscles and seeing who
what
they
can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know whether it's just a couple of lame, like, really fucking tech-savvy nerds in their basements just, like, having a laugh or something, or if it's, like, North Korea deliberately seeing, what they can. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's mental. Why would you want to do it? It doesn't make any sense. Just inconveniencing people. It's like a gaming global equivalent of just pushing the button at the pedestrian crossing, and then when you don't want to cross and just keeping on walking, it's just like you're being a dick. You're just stopping the traffic. You don't give a shit. You're not going across. But you're just going to inconvenience a load of people who are just driving. Otherwise, it's not the end of their world. It's just
you know what it probably is. Someone probably shorted the stocks of the companies.
Oh, really?
No, probably not. But if you short a stock, you're basically making a prediction that it's going to go down, and that's where you make your money on.
Maybe.
So if you knew that their system would go down for a few days, it's going to be in the news, and the people are going to get, no, it's an unstable platform, blah, blah, blah. It'll scare investors. You'll make some money.
Yeah.
I can come up with other scenarios of nefarious things.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Illuminati were, I don't know. That's it. That's my conspiracy theory. The Illuminati.
The Illuminati were.
So what do we think about the three different kinds of responses? You've got one who responded very quickly and were able to deal with it. You've got one who
you have
weren't
to
able
pay
to.
for your online access for them, so they kind of had to.
You have to pay for both,
but you also have to pay for Sony for the PlayStation Network.
Really?
Yeah,
They changed that.
To be able to play online, you have to be a PlayStation Plus member, but I don't think you have to be a PlayStation Plus member to download games.
Correct.
So you could download as many single-player experiences as you like to never have to pay for the subscription price to be able to play any of the games online.
And I think the chat social stuff is also...
Yeah, a few bits may also be...
maybe not the uploading thing, that's probably...
No, I don't think the uploading thing. I think you can do what you want with the uploading thing.
Yeah,
whereas Steam also doesn't need to, you don't have to pay a subscription service to Steam.
No.
But then Steam were able to try and fix the problem, but made it worse by showing everybody information.
Yeah.
And I mean, this information was only shown if you were logged in and your client was open on Christmas Day when this fix was implemented, that your page was cached and then sent to somebody else's Steam client to view as they progressed through. They might have clicked on store and suddenly your page came up.
Ashley Madison details were being broadcast to everyone else on your frenzy.
No dear.
We've got about 8 minutes left on my battery. So maybe we should... you could put them in an order of how shit they were, really, couldn't you?
You could, yeah. I mean,
Xbox being better.
Really, you'd want everyone to respond as Xbox did and be able to fix the problem and be able to move very swiftly on and allow you to get straight back into it. And for them to say, look, it's not our fault, we did everything we could, and here it is back up again.
Yeah.
I guess the problem is, depending on what the disruption is, you can't guarantee that even if you have done all your homework, that you can do the Xbox move. I suspect Microsoft being a very... it's the other parts of Microsoft are very much... backbone technology, that they probably have a pretty good redundancy system for their online service. Also, because of the subscription nature of Xbox Live, they've been hearing complaints when it's down for longer.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they've probably done a lot more hedging and preparedness, because every time they've gone out in the past, people got pissy. And Sony has gotten away in the past with their free service disappearing because it was free.
Because it's free. Yeah, they haven't had to react as quickly to satisfy those customers because they're not really customers as such. It's a free service provided to everyone that's able to use it. So if it's down a couple of days, it's down a couple of days.
So I've just thought that maybe because Microsoft were quicker to respond and responded better, that is evidence that really what the cause of the problem was. It must have been when Donald Trump said that he needs to get Bill Gates to shut the internet down until we can figure out what the hell is going on in Syria.
It could be.
That's probably what they're just figuring out. Well, if we need to do that, well, how would we do it? That's why their responses are better.
Right.
So it all fits together, really. I think that's obviously what's going on.
The larger conspiracy of Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's the future. It's definitely conspiracy and a prophecy at the same time.
I guess my thing would be, without knowing what their redundancy plans are, these are services like Steam. A lot of people download 1 or 2 games at a time because they have Steam, and bandwidth is now super cheap. So even though we don't pay for it, we pay a lot of money for our games, and we expect to be able to get them when we want. Mm-hmm. And so they need to have a bigger team / a bigger disaster recovery plan. And that's not to say sometimes it screws up, but there's a thing called QA.
Yeah.
And people's private information, regardless of whether I can immediately use it to steal your money, being given to other people is not good.
No, not at all. So all of these things aren't very good. Microsoft, a little bit better than everybody else in this regard. We are going to have to go because we're now on 4% battery, so we're fading fast. So your favourite beer, Alex, was?
In all other circumstances, it would have been the Moor, but because it's an excellent and yet also forgettable beer, I'm going to say the Viper and True.
Okay, well, fair enough. I think I'll go for the Moor. The hoppy, is it Hoppiness? Yeah, I like that. It was nice. It was nice. It's a nice IPA. It's quite good. How was your apple pie, Aadil?
It was pretty good. It's from the grocery store, and it was canned spray whipped cream.
Whipped cream. Nice.
Also, Han Solo dies.
Well done.
We have been tanked up for another week. You can get us on Twitter at tankedup_cast. I'm at Nova_47. Aadil is
at the Omniarch.
You can email us tankedup@gmail.com.
If you can make the kettle YouTube. Run in less than 12 parsecs, you can arrive at my house.
Did you say the kettle run or the Kessel run?
Kessel run.
I thought you said the kettle run. I'm like,
the kettle
are you
run.
asking Ben now for tea?
Less than 12 parsecs, I'd be fucking amazed.
Yeah.
But
coffee all the time.
Yeah. I'll have tea, please.
We've got a Facebook page, which we mentioned earlier. Will get updated, hopefully. We've got a YouTube channel with some sort of content.
Which will also get updated at some point.
I tell you what, I'll upload that meme where I got the joke about Finn being able to hit something.
Oh, yeah, excellent.
Good.
And if you are a visitor to our Facebook page, why don't you say something, or post a link, or make yourself known, because that's always fun.
Or put a spoiler to a film that you think we probably haven't seen yet.
Get us back. Although none of us will care.
No. Shit. I'll just not watch the film just to spite you.
And you just say, "Oh no, what happens? Don't need to."
Yeah, that's right. I'll just read the Wikipedia blurb of the film,
the IMDb,
and then
synopsis.
Just be like, "Well, I already knew it." So,
yeah, nice.
In fact, I'm going to just read all of the IMDb
films
of all of the upcoming films that are coming out, just so I know what happens.
And just all films.
All films. Yeah.
Well, I'll never be on this podcast again. I'm going to be for the rest of my life reading IMDb blurbs. Yeah, maybe trailers as well. I don't know.
That's fair. Right, take it easy, guys.
Cool. Bye.
Bye. Is the opposite of laugh out loud crying in your head, or is it?
It's just
laughing
weeping.
inside. It's laughing inside and showing a stony face outside. That's what I'd say.
Fair enough.
It's not an antonymic pair. It's just a negation.